So last we left off, the party made their way to the Fjord. I believe that was last session. And in that last session, the party attempted to get some information. They went to... a little bit. They went to the Ursine Lands, where the Skinwalkers reside. They proceeded to find a gentleman who people were shipping with a friend.
Hi.
In addition to the with our satyr friend here, and the party proceeded to ask him what was going on, and the party found out that the Skinwalkers did have the world rune at some point, but it's been a while since. Their world ruin was transferred to different ownership. The world rune that they had was delivered to the Winter's Claw when the leader of the Skinwalkers, or at least the Skinwalker who was trusted with it, decided to travel off to Ionia. He dropped it off with his goddaughter as the leader of the Winter Tribe, and then went off east. With that in mind, the party went to Winter's Claw. At Winter's Claw, they encountered their leader, Sejuani, and she said that she will tell them where it is, but only if she's sure that they won't just go and die, on the way there. So they basically had to prove themselves to Sejuani, and to do so, they concluded that the Winter's Claw decided that the best course of action was to give them sort of something that they would entrust, sort of like a coming-of-age ritual that they would use to their own tribe, just to make sure that the party was at least as competent as the member of the Winter's Claw that is with the party of our Yeti boy here. So, last we left off, the party had just finished off the Rhymevang wolves that they were tasked to hunt. Did you guys actually skin the wolves yet, or not yet?
We did.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there was, I'm pretty sure that Lily did all the survival checks.
I think she did too, yeah. There's 8 of them here for a reason. That must have been it, yeah. So Lily skinned all the wolves. And were you guys trying to collect anything else from the wolves besides their skin, or is it just the skin?
Ooh, could we do their, like their claws?
I
think Aaron was taking, their teeth.
I can tell you this much, their claws are not really anything special. They're just like standard wolf claws, but their teeth themselves could be used for potential magical properties. Okay. As they have quite literally a frostbite.
I think Aaron took them, but if there are any more teeth, I would like to harvest them.
Okay, well, I'll touch base with Aaron later, and then you can let me know about that. So, what would you guys like to do?
Nevy's
Cry. Anyway,
oh god. Nevy's just gonna chill and be like, I will follow everyone. I hate this place.
Avantika wanted me. I can't remember. I don't know where my notebook is, but I have things written down in. What was? Or sorry, not Avantika. That's in my head because I was talking to her.
Sejuani.
Sejuani. They're both hot mommies, okay? I flirted with I can't say her name.
It's fine. What are you getting to?
I remember, and she said that I'd have to bring her back something or survive or.
I don't remember it exactly. I just remember you floating.
It was survive.
I think it was survive, but I don't know.
We had to do the quest to kill the wolves and come back surviving.
Okay.
You just said basically if you don't die, he will continue to flirt with you.
Cool.
But we are going to gloss over all that flirting for the most part because it is weird to flirt mid-session, in my personal opinion. Nonetheless, Yeah, so you guys wanted to go back. That's fine, absolutely. So, yeah, you guys go back. You didn't travel far. It was like, what, day when you arrived, so you can get there and back. Your drunk guide comes back to you. He's like, yeah, good job. Okay, let's go back. I want to go drink more.
Don't you think you've had enough?
I'll tell you when I've had enough, and he drinks some from his bag.
Okay.
Now, let's go. And he starts staggering through the snow back to town.
I'm gonna keep an eye on him, make sure he's okay.
Nevi will grumbly walk through the snow.
He'll be fine. I'm an odd one because I don't like to drink, but many satyrs do.
Oh right, yeah, that's canon in like mythology.
No one's technically a satyr here for context. They're technically just Vistians, but yes. Satyr Vistians tend to have a proclivity to drinking.
Yeah.
They enjoy the revel.
I once heard a story of a man from the Frel Lord who uses booze as a weapon, essentially.
Oh, fascinating.
Okay. Oh, sorry, weird mouse movement. Okay. And we're off. Yeah, so you guys stagger back through the snow and eventually make your way back to the Winter's Claw camp. It's maybe evening now. Would you guys like to go straight up to Sejuani, or what would you guys like to do here?
Yeah.
So yeah, your guy's like, there she is, and then he just goes and like lays down against a wall and passes out. Yeah, so you guys head back over to Sejuani's camp, for sure. She's just sitting there. It looks like she's went and grabbed, while you were out, there are several more chairs in her tent.
Mm-hmm.
And when she sees you, she sort of just beckons you in. You can see the bull, or sorry, her boar. There's a big window, and the boar just sticks his head through, and he makes eye contact with Lyra as she enters.
I wave at him and then I walk over.
Yeah, and he does like a little tusk dance on his face. He just like wiggles them back and forth at you.
I have fun tusk dance with him.
Yeah. Alright, Sejuani's like, so, you're alive, but how did it go?
Alright.
It went well.
I have all of the pelts on me.
He looks over. I mean, that looks like, what, 6? That looks like 6. Good enough for me. And honestly, you guys can probably just keep those. Maybe put them on. They'll probably help you guys with the cold. Actually, you know what? Drop them off with one of our tanners, and they'll make sure that it's more of a wearable hide and not dripping blood.
Well,
I like this idea.
I think I used prestidigitation so they didn't have any blood on them.
I don't think... Prestidigitation cleans dirty? I'm talking about the blood that is inside of the skin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you've ever killed a wild animal, there's blood throughout a lot of it, and it's a little damp and icky still, internally.
Yeah, Lyra's probably covered.
Oh yeah.
Lyra's probably covered in it.
Lyra looks like she's full on carried. Soaked in blood. Either way, so you guys want to know where the World Rune is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll tell you, but I have one request. Think before you act.
As long as it doesn't involve accidentally summoning an ancient desert god and then needing to collapse a temple on it, I'm frankly down for anything.
Well, I wasn't going to get you to do anything else specific. I was just going to, say that maybe don't instantly use this information. Maybe plan a little. Because the missing World Ruin The missing world ruin is at the heart of the Frost Guard.
The heart of the what?
The Frost Citadel, where the Frost Guard reside.
What's that?
So deep in the mountains, there is a castle, a keep, made out of true ice. And inside that keep resides a woman. And she is the leader of the Frost Guard, as she sends out her Darken and her thralls and her priests, and they patrol the land. Draklorn.
Okay.
Draklorn. Similar name, completely different. Yeah, so she's also aligned herself with the trolls, and in her citadel, deep in the Howling Abyss, she has stored the ruin. We've made several attempts on it. Well, on her citadel itself, also in an attempt to get the ruin back. In fact, the first time we've ever encountered the Void was during one of these attempts. I believe we were in the middle of a battle when they made their approach. Is that correct? Looks over at Justin.
I look over at the boar.
She wasn't actually with you, Justin, so she's just confirming that when you did your last siege on the Bossguard Citadel, that's when you guys were interrupted by the Void creatures.
Yeah, the one where
I believe you started yeeting people off.
did we end up did they end up losing or winning that?
You guys retreated strategically because Void creatures started jumping out of portals and attacking everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, you did a strategic retreat, and that was the last time the Winter's Claw attempted to siege the Frostguard Citadel. So yeah, there's a citadel deep in the mountains, covered in true ice, that if you touch the ice, you'll freeze to death. And only specific people can touch the ice in general, but if you try to make it through without touching any ice, you've got to consider the fact that there's army there.
So her castle is made out of true ice, and if we touch said castle, we freeze, and
she's also
it's
got an
inside
army.
The castle.
Yeah.
That seems fun.
I look at all of us. Do we have a... I'm not one for being able to fly. Can we fly?
Well, as long as you wear clothes.
I'm really dumb.
Again, as long as you are wearing clothes and you don't touch it with your bare skin, you should be okay.
True ice is weird.
Question. As I pull, I sort of, I don't really have a sleeve, but like the part that is a sleeve on my thing, I just kind of pull off. If I were to touch it, as I show my my fake arm, if I were able to push the door open with my metal arm, would it do anything, or would that cause?
So I kind of worded this badly. I'm sorry. The citadel itself is not. It was not initially made of true ice. It's just over time, true ice has made its way through the whole city as she's presumably been holding all of the Iceborne captive.
Kind of like an overcoat.
Exactly. A lot of the citadel, like inside it might be okay, but outside of it is more or less completely surrounded. Like we've never found another entrance in, and then there's just a big bridge over a chasm that leads inside. Basically, my advice would be plan it out. Plan how you're going to approach this. If you want, this would not be the first or last time that we have made an attempt on it. We could help you. Presumably, as long as we get to take what's inside besides the world ruin, we would be willing to lay siege with you guys.
If we were able to... It may take a little bit longer, but if we were able to make our way back to Piltover, we could hire a flying, like a fly ship, and fly over. Or we could just, figure out
What
another way
money?
to fly over. I mean, I'm sure we could rent one.
I'd also like to point out that the Howling Abyss is underground, so
Never mind.
you can fly over the Citadel and skip the bridge, but you're still having to go inside.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine this as a giant pyramid of true ice with a bridge leading to it. And inside there's architecture that is made of stone, and then there's spires of true ice and stuff like that piercing through the walls periodically as well, right? Like, you can make any approach you want if you're careful, but if you're not careful, you're gonna have repercussions to your actions.
So, who is this force on the other side? And is there any more information you could give us about them?
Lysandra is the leader of them. I believe that's common knowledge to us now. She's been kidnapping our people. For a while there, the priests of the Draklorn were widely welcomed into our tribes for their sort of knowledge. But as they've started to get more and more hostile, we've pushed them out. As far as it goes, there's... So, how do I'm trying to describe this. So there are the Draklorn, which are her private army, right? Swords, shields, armor. There are the priests, which are more of a magical version of her private army, right? There are the thralls, which are kind of her biggest threat, which are these corrupted trolls, mostly. And then she's currently got herself aligned with the trolls, which is giving her quite a massive boost to her strength. And their King Trundle is aligned with them, and that's pretty concerning in its own right. Like, the last time we fought them, she wasn't aligned with the trolls, and now she is. I don't know how well it would go. I think there are things that need to be done before we do an assault on the Abyss.
Do we know where this came?
Just thinking about it, because there were many fights up in the peaks of Targon, and mobility was always a very limited thing. And as you've explained, there's a giant chasm with a one-way bridge that leads into the only opening. This sounds very difficult to siege, especially if they have numbers.
It will be. My
Do we
advice...
know where the troll lives?
I believe the troll tribe is currently residing just... So the Yetis are due west of the Frostguard Citadel. I believe the trolls are due east. So,
Shall we maybe take them out first then? Maybe try to take out this Trundle?
You could take them out, or you could just persuade them to stand back. Negotiation isn't not an option, right? And
yeah.
Separately from that, if you're talking about removing things from their side, we can also look at adding more to our side.
Mm-hmm. But what do we have to offer them? Because I'm sure they probably want something in return.
I mean, every side is going to want something, but I think the trolls, their pretty might makes right. So if you go there and you defeat their boss, I'm pretty sure he'll have to abide at least one request. Right? Like, if you go there and you beat him...
Kind of like a trial by fire.
I wouldn't call it a trial, I'd literally just call it, like, you've defeated their boss. It's like when you capture a Jinn and they have to give you one wish or whatever, right?
Alpha pack mentality.
Kind of, yeah. And
without the killing when the winner wins.
The other thing that you could do is Groot here joined our tribe, but there are many Yetis who didn't. You could attempt to make your way to the Yeti's vigil and persuade the Yetis to join our cause as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, there are also other beings. You know, the Spirit Walkers, the Urside. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandpa.
They worship the god Volibear. There are other gods out there that are less savage and barbaric. Right? There's also the Avosin. The three sisters each have a tribe based on them, right? I wouldn't personally recommend bothering with the Avosin as they are soft and not really a useful asset, but they are there. And, I mean, if we throw enough Avosin corpses at the Frostguard, it should buy us some time.
Must lore nitpick. Sejuani is one of those 3 lines.
I'm aware. She's the leader of the Winter's Claw for that reason. Well, not just that reason, but she's aware. I am aware and she is aware. There are 3 tribes is the point I was trying to make, Lily. Or 3 factions. Yeah, I mean, you have options. Realistically, you can do things to their side to weaken them, and you could do things to our side to bolster us.
Yeah. I think I may have an idea for the trolls to try to maybe persuade them to get to our side if they pride themselves on strength.
I am intrigued by the powers of gods in these lands, since I come from a land of literal gods.
Makes sense. I will say that the Volibear is probably not one worth trying, as he's no longer he's sentient. I'm looking for the term articulate, I suppose.
Is he just angry?
The Volibear is feral at this point. And I don't think he could be persuaded to join our cause.
What kind of other gods do you have?
Well, there's the god of the forge, Orn. He resides in the highest mountain. And then there's the god of storm? I should have remembered this.
Pretty sure that's Volibear.
No, I'm trying to remember what the fucking Nivea is.
She's just a guardian of the land. She is in...
Each of them has like a thing though, she's the Cryo Phoenix. Oh, she's the
Eternal Winter.
Yeah, Eternal Winter. She's life, death, and rebirth. So, yeah, there's the god of rebirth, and resurrection, and she's generally very friendly. You just would have to make contact with her and then make a case for why she should focus on other aspects of her domain, right? She's life, death, and rebirth. For the most part, she's been focusing on, you know, the storm being endless, rebirth, stuff like that, right? The Eternal Felyord. But if you could persuade her to spend some time working towards making a little more death in the area, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I couldn't imagine any of the gods, you know, overtly going into battle, but Orn is a god of a forge. I'm sure he could, you know, make some equipment, and Anivia...
Orn seems like a prospect that would actually pay out 2-fold if we were able to curry his favor. What seems to be Orn's temperament?
It varies. Like the flames in a forge, his temperament also flickers.
Because if he happens to be a god of the forge and we could curry favor, he could possibly affect both of our causes. Being able to weaponize, or being able to get better equipment for our coalition, as well as the war fronts here, could pose very beneficial.
I mean, the gods of the Fellior tend to keep to their own domain, but if you recruited him and he sided with us and he made equipment for our whole army, I would be willing to say that the equipment he makes for this battle could go to you guys. So we will arm the Winter's Claw with this equipment, and then once the battle is done, you could take said equipment home with you.
Well, I think we should probably look for Orn first.
Yeah.
Does Orn happen to have any likes, like food or wines of offering?
I'm not sure. I know he currently resides in the volcano called Hearthhome.
You said he likes to forge stuff, so if we could somehow get ourselves on some kind of metal, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's sensible. If you could get some sort of rare material that he could use that he doesn't already have, that could be beneficial.
Don't we still have some stuff from the dragon?
Well, he got a thing, and I point at Francis. And I feel like the other scales went somewhere else.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, Zoe, we were able to hear you before. Talk.
What?
Zoe, talk.
Oh, I was literally before Brandon said, I was saying, I have the dragon scales.
Oh, then we didn't hear you now.
Then you could use that,
yeah,
but
perfect.
no one could hear me. And then he went, I think we have something from the dragon. I'm like,
cool. Yeah, good point, Zoe. Yeah, you're correct. You do indeed.
Yeah, I haven't
we
started.
use all the dragon scales?
I haven't started on that project yet.
Oh, okay.
Zoe could, in fact, give up on that project and use it instead to curry favor with the god of the forge.
Good plan? Good plan.
I don't think you want anything to do with these. They'll just bring out, like, these gauntlets.
Didn't you already start working on those?
Yes. I'm more than halfway done.
Love it.
You just bring him a half-finished thing.
well, I've made gauntlets. They're just not enchanted.
Yeah, half-finished.
As far as currying the favor of Anivia, the Bale Striders, the Wanderers, are... She doesn't like them. It is known that they are not her favorite. So if you were able to take out one of those and deliver its corpse to her specifically, that would be a strong...
Are these wanderers?
That'll give us a strong case that we're on her side.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what Anivia would do for us, but I don't think there's ever a situation where having a demigod or a god on your side is a bad situation.
Well, you said that she brings in the storm, right?
She has
essentially
insane elemental powers that she would use to keep, Noxus and Damascias at bay, right? She usually spends her time keeping the Southerners out of our lands.
She could summon up a storm and mask ourselves. We can potentially mask ourselves as we're going in, so the enemies don't know that we're coming.
If she has control over the storms, she could literally give us movement without any storms hitting us.
She might give you some sort of, free stride, because the Fosgard Citadel is covered in, it is in a very stormy area, right? Mm-hmm. So, she might be able to give you recluse from the blizzards, yeah. The other thought I had is if you...
Oh, never mind.
if you were able to make a strong enough case for her, she could potentially give you some boon of rebirth. She is a demigod of life, death, and rebirth, so she might be able to give you some respite from both the storm itself and a temporary respite from death.
What
I
are
wonder if
those
she.
wanderer people? Are they people or are they like animals or?
They are, generally speaking, quadrupedal, and they are also probably 80 feet tall.
Are they? Are I assume she doesn't like them because they're bad?
They are. You guys fight the void. The corpses of the void that remained were the best comparison I can make for someone to describe the beings known as the Wanderers.
Okie dokie.
Or as
That's
the
all I
Bale
needed to know.
Striders.
I just wanted to know if it was okay to, if both me and Lyra would be comfortable killing these things because if they're like actually evil and that such, wouldn't ever want to like kill anything innocent. So.
I'll send you I'll put a photo in the chat here.
Lyra kind of looks over and is just like,
I'll also put this on here so the stream can see it.
Huh?
Hunting is a natural process of the universe.
Oh, hunting, yes. I'm more meaning. I wasn't sure if they were, bad. I don't want to kill anyone innocent. Like,
True.
Someone who, you know what I mean.
If Anivia, the guardian, essentially guardian of this place, is going against them, I highly doubt that they would be innocent.
I mean, I'm not from here. I don't know. There's sometimes people have sketchy things.
I wonder what connection Anivia has with your home then, Kasumi. If she's a being that transcends life and death, doesn't she break the natural order of your spirit realm?
I believe Nivea is herself a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I believe all of our gods are technically spirits. They're just.
That's actually a good point. Can I quickly do like an Arcana check to see if I know anything about
absolutely.
them? Since I am from the spirit realm. 25.
Yeah, on a 25, Brendan, you know that most gods are in some way, shape, or form a variation of spirits.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a really high-end spirits. Even the Shirimans, the ascended Shirimans, are almost like god spirits in human form. In a similar way to the aspects of Targon that you've heard vaguely about from Lily, are also like god spirits in human form. Like, it's a whole thing.
The gods of Targon seem to be slightly different. They're physical embodiments of causality?
Yeah, the way it works out is very, very strange.
Yeah, that's Lyra saying that. So, it's very fascinating getting to know the gods of different cultures.
For context, there are also a raven god, a seal god, a boar god, and a lynx god, but we do not know. They're lost to time. They may still exist somewhere out there, but we know not where.
Well, I think our first thing that we should do is go find Orn, because he has the most like concrete where he is, other than the tribes.
The volcanic mountain of Hearthhome.
Yes. Go to Orn, see if one, that he'll help us or not, and two, if he will, maybe he'll give us a little bit more information on Anivia, because he is a god after all.
I look over at Nevi. I'm like, we're going to the hot place and the cold place.
I like half of this.
Is it the hot place?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, ignore that.
I just curl the fuck up in warmth.
What am I ignoring?
I just drew a big dumb line accidentally.
Oh.
Okay. Winter's Pipe. Sorry, I'm just trying to find you guys on the map here. Show you where we're going.
We're heading to the volcano. Going to a warm place. We're gonna get warm in a forge. It's gonna be nice there.
So there is
warmed up.
This is the mountain for Orn. The Eastern Mountain.
That's big far away.
That's Hearth Home. She'll pull out a map and she'll show you where things are. So that is Hearth Home, which resides inside the Broken Mountain. Southeastern, that's that. There is more mountain up here. The Yetis, for context, the Fosgard Citadel is there, and the Yetis reside here, and the Trolls reside here. Why not there? It's never made clear, so I'm choosing there.
Well, that's actually pretty good for us. If Orn is truly right there, then we could probably use his, if he decides to help us, we could probably use his home as almost a base of operations as we go to the other tribes.
For sure. For context, the Avrosen reside much more south. I believe. Yes. The Avrosen, you know where you were before? Fun fact. The Avrosen reside right here. Backlesnake. Backlestake. Bleh. Words are hard. Yeah.
And where were the spirit people on? Like, just asking her, we kind of tracked her away here without a map.
The Spirit Walkers?
Yeah.
I can get the Spirit Walkers. You were the ones who sent you here, were they not?
Yes. I just had no context on a map.
Do not worry about the Spirit Walkers. I can just reach out to them and they will join our cause automatically. But for context, the Spirit Walkers resided up here. What else needs to be marked on the map here? Oh, yes. Oopsie. The southern borders. If you follow the southern borders, there's a river that flows all the way to here. That would be sort of a good metric of the borders themselves, but I believe the defined borders are technically this mountain range. Yes? Yes. I believe that mountain range is technically the borders. So if you're looking for Anivia, the borders is your best bet. Somewhere along that line would be your best bet for Anivia.
Mm-hmm. Again, if Orn truly is a god, he may have more information on where she may reside, or...
And I believe Anivia is his sister, so...
Even better.
Presumably that's not a bad idea.
Maybe he could even help in getting her allegiance to us, or help.
The gods tend to have their own focuses.
Yeah, they tend to leave each other alone.
Yeah.
Just because they're siblings.
In fact, it's probably, for context, I guess I should put it on there. This is also where you would have your best chance of finding the Volibear. I could have used other things besides, marker to tell you, but that's okay. She's pointing. She doesn't have a Sharpie to tell you where things are. She points at them, so this is what you get.
I'm just circling them down on our own map.
For sure. Yeah, so you have options for sure. As far as your approach goes, I'll lend you the aid of the Winter's Claw as well as I will recruit the aid of the Spirit Walkers myself, as I am the goddaughter of their leader. Even if he isn't there, they should respect that. What do you guys want to do first? What is the order of events that you guys would like to do?
I think we go for Orin first.
Yeah.
He seems to be.
So you want to do Orn? What do you want to do after Orn?
Do we want to go to Vorsen at all? Or do we want to just go boop, boop?
Where's the troll one again? Which one's the troll one again?
Directly between the Yetis and Orn.
That's the one in the middle right there?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think we go to Orn, then we go to the Yetis, then we go to the trolls. And then maybe the Yetis after that, and then that one.
Trolls, Yeti. What do you want to do after that? Well, that's the Citadel itself.
Oh, that's the Citadel stuff. Okay, so yeah, go Orn. Go to trolls. Go to Yetis. Go back to Orn. Maybe Alex try to rest up. Try to plan after that. See if we can get any information on Anivia. Maybe we can ask him. To find some information as we're away.
Okay, so we're gonna do Orn, Trolls, Yeti, and then you're going back to Orn for planning, respite, more information, and then you may end up doing Anivia.
Either Anivia, and if we can't get any information on Anivia, we'll just travel the border as we make our way over to
Citadel?
No, down here.
Are you going to the Avosin?
I mean, it's not a bad idea. The more prepared we are,
For sure.
the better this will go. So.
And at any point, are you wanting to do anything with the Citadel itself, or are you wanting to just do all your planning separately from it? This will end up being a siege, right?
Yeah.
So, what are we wanting to... This is for you guys to decide how you want this done, but are we wanting to do anything specifically?
Like scout ahead, you mean?
Well, not even just scouting. I mean, do we want to, I don't know, raid the lands? Do we want to sack the area? Do we want to keep them under siege for the next while, right? Like, do we want to ambush their scouts? Do we want to...
Yeah,
I mean, ambushing scouts sounds smart.
If we've gone far enough to go and recruit everyone, ambushing them is definitely the best the best idea to start with.
I think probably just trying to take out as much resources as we can away from them is probably our best bet.
I don't necessarily like the idea of scorching the territories, though.
No, we won't be scorching the territories. I mean,
when it comes
general hunting.
When it comes to limiting that type of stuff, there is actually a big risk on a lot more than just affecting the Citadel.
Well, I can tell you this much. Scorched Earth isn't going to be too much of a concern. Up here in the higher mountains, we don't do a lot of farming. Farming is more of an Avosin thing. Up here, it's all about the hunting. So if you wanted to attempt to, like, hunt out the area near their base, it would serve a similar purpose. And then you can also use that food from hunting to feed the army that we're building.
Yeah, we're pretty much taking their resources and using it for ourselves.
I just worry about the innocents being entirely affected. But thinking about it, if food is such a problem for the armies to consider, the Avarosans might actually pose to be a lot more beneficial if they have been farming. I'm sure that they would have a lot more reserves.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you this much. The Avosans themselves, they farm. Because they're too soft to make it hunting. Dab.
Even still, every piece on your chessboard is useful. Even if they're not fighting.
I mean, like I said, we can throw enough Avosin corpses at them to make up for one of my Reavers.
No, I think our best bet is try to recruit them for food, for resources. If they could just feed our army, that's more than enough.
You could attempt to do some sort of trade deal with them for sure. I'm not sure what you would trade them, but I'm sure a deal could be struck somewhere.
Well, I mean, getting rid of one of the biggest threats, presumably, from this land.
The Avosan are lucky. The Fosgard fight us. They don't have to fight that as often as we do.
Yes, but eventually it'll hit them.
I suppose that is a case that you will have to make to them.
Yeah. We'll have to think on it more and what we want to, if we want to pitch anything to them or not. But
am I getting like crazy big Lunarian Solari vibes here?
Between Avosan and the Winter's Claw, probably a little bit. It's less religious though, whereas the other one is more of like a religious thing. These guys
more
are
just like more tribe based.
Yeah, it's mostly just
still. It's like I hate them specifically. Meh.
Yeah, they're all petty as fuck.
But now I'm sick and older. They're killing me this time.
Who knows? We may find something that we may be able to.
Okay, so what other strategies would we want to do with the Citadel, though? We're gonna ambush. We're gonna hunt. Are you guys wanting to build siege weapons?
Ooh, we should make one of those. What's it called? A catapult? Not catapult, but you know the machine that throws like a trebuchet. Trebuchet.
Okay, so
Lyra tilts her head. Is like, what's a siege weapon?
Where are you from again?
I'm gonna look at Lyra and just say, "Do you know what a catapult is?"
No, absolutely not.
No.
It's like that, and it throws a ball with usually.
I'm gonna quickly do.
Fire.
I'm gonna draw a quick design. Just a very, very like quick design. It's something
you don't even
kind
have
of like
I have
this.
one in my I would literally have pictures of this in my journal.
Lyra kind of looks at it and it's just like,
they throw giant, pretty much anything. Most of the time it's usually rock.
that seems weird. I mean, Grandpa did say that the people outside of the mountain fought in strange ways.
Yeah, people don't usually use them anymore as the outside world, other than from up here, have all sorts of different mumbo-jumbo magic.
Yeah.
They're not used so much anymore. They used to be used a lot, though, back in the day.
I suppose. Is it normal for people to fight with the sun and the moon? Like, literally fight with the sun and moon?
No.
Generally not.
We fight with the storm, with the thunder and the wind and the heat of the flame, but not the sun and the moon.
What about with the literal stars? Lara just kind of shakes her head and is like, you all are so weird, and goes back to her boar.
Ionia typically has a lot of spirit magic.
I love the idea that Lyra's just absolutely like desensitized to common sense. You all decide to travel by boats when she travels by star unicorns. There are battles with like literal just forces of existence.
Yeah, I mean, Zoe, what were you trying to say before? You just messaged me. What's up?
was saying that I had the picture in my
Yeah,
journal and
absolutely.
I was taking it out and
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely.
Yeah.
Brandon can start sketching out a picture, and then you can be all like, "Oh, I actually have one of those," and you can just show it like in-depth depiction.
yeah.
And then Lyra questions is like,
I was
this
going
is
to
so
explain
inefficient.
because I'm kind of obsessed with those things. But
Does Zoe understand the mechanics and want to actually explain in more detail how a trebuchet
no,
works?
that was pretty spot on.
Did you explain the counterbalance and the pivot and the launch and the fact that trebuchets can
It
wield
also
multiple different types of
requires
ammunitions?
a lot of people to get it working properly. Like you'll need at least 5 people on it because they require a lot of tension. I learned this from Dragon Age because you have to. It takes like 5 fucking minutes to get the trebuchet working. It's a definitely if we have we'd need like a specialist working on it while we're out and about because it's a bit of a complicated endeavor.
What we could also look at is we could also look at doing some sort of structures to get on top of the castle walls, as well as ones to break down the doors. And we could also look at doing some ballista as well. To do the... So, Orn, let's just recap where we're at. You're going to go to Orn. You're going to offer him some sort of material to curry favor with him in an attempt to get him to help us purge the Frost Guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Once that's done, you're going to fight your way through the trolls, defeat their chief, and then either get them to subside from the combat or help us depending on how much they're willing to do.
I believe I have a strong case for them to actually help us.
Okay. Just know that words don't mean anything to the trolls. It's all about strength.
That's exactly what I'm going to use.
Okay.
They want the strongest. They want to be the strongest in the land. Why not take the strongest opponent out?
I don't know if they want to be the strongest. I think they only respect strength. So if the Frost Guard proved themselves to the trolls, and that's how they got their aid, they've already done what you're about to try and do.
That point at our Yeti friend is like, he could have fun strength stuff going on.
Maybe.
He's been strong.
Yeah, you could use Groot, and see if Groot could show off some sort of dick measuring contest. Well, that will, I mean, let's assume you get there and then go from there. And
Lyra
then
has a extremely puzzled expression, and as she's just like, dick measuring comp. That's a.
Boys are weird.
Why is what?
You have obviously not been to college.
After the trolls,
What's a college?
Oh, that's where I went to. Well, I just went to school at like one of them.
What's a school?
Oh, honey. I will bring you to mine one day when we're done all of this. It's quite lovely. There's lots of books, many stories. I know that they would love to hear about your land at some point. Maybe you could even teach a class. That'd be so lovely.
So, it's a place of transferring stories. Okay, that makes sense.
It's more so gathering knowledge.
Yeah, of learning.
There's a difference?
No, not really. It's basically the same. Knowledge, stories, anything you can learn, really. It depends on the college or the university. Mine's kind of like I will show you later. We'll have a grand time. I'll bring you to my town. Oh, my friends will love the way, like, everything about you. You're so cool. They'll love you.
I'll just look at Lyra and just say, it's a place for others to teach others their experiences in life.
Oh, like a communion of the elders and passing on knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, it's passing on knowledge from the past to the present.
I mean, not the one I go to, but yeah. Mine's more about, technical stuff.
Okay.
But that was also made in the past. Everything that has happened in the school has happened in the past and been transferred over time.
I mean, some stuff, yeah.
Everything has to be learned at some point.
Yeah, everything has to be learned at some point, otherwise we wouldn't be able to teach it in the present.
I love the idea that, like, as educated as Brandon's character is, they are not, like, actually school learned.
No, they're not
smart.
school learned, they're just smart because
Ancient
they've learned
fucking
a bunch.
being.
So they don't actually understand the fact that new information is, like, pioneered at these schools.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, that's actually... Like,
some schools do have a master's program where they learn things during the school program. Yeah. They invent shit.
Yeah, but like, Kasumi doesn't get that, and
I mean,
Lyra's even lower down.
Piper's just like, yeah, no, but
kind
okay.
of, mostly. It's a mix. It's a mix for sure. Okay.
Yeah, it depends on which one. I assume, yeah.
Okay, so back to the more war meeting. This is a war meeting.
Reality. Oh, there's always gravity.
Never heard that song before, but that's okay. So, you go to the trolls, you fight your way through them. Then you're going to go talk to the Yetis and recruit more of them to join our cause than just Groat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what is your plan with that? Are you just going to talk to them? What is the...
We can start with talking, but I don't know the Yeti's demeanor. How they present themselves. Do they pride themselves on strength like the trolls?
The Yetis... They are a strange collection of beings. It's not like they have they're not like the trolls where it's like might makes right. It's more that they're just very isolationist. The Yetis were thought to be extinct for the longest time. There was rumor of one Yeti, and since that Yeti has sort of made its appearance known, more have become frequent, and they've slowly been pushing out from their homelands, but they still are fairly isolationist, so you would have to make some sort of case to them, but I don't know if they're going to be necessarily hostile. I imagine Groat can get you access easily enough. At least to, like, an audience. That means you're not allowed to go get yourself killed, Groat.
It's fine, I don't die. I can't die.
Okay. So, after that, you're returning back to Orn. Going to get him to do... You're returning back to Orn to rest? Is that the play?
To rest and also see if he has any information on Anivia.
Okay, so return to Orn, get information from his sister, then track down his sister.
Yeah, to be entirely fair, from here, everything kind of goes up in the air, and there's kind of not like the exact certainty of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So if
it's
Orn
very much based on information.
So if Orn doesn't know anything, are you skipping the Avosin then, or are you still going to make your way down there?
I think we'll probably make our way down there, following the path down, like following the mountain range, just in case we do end up finding Anivia.
Okay. So down the mountain range, down to where you find Anivia, then go to the Avosin. And while that's being done, while you guys travel the whole span of the Freljord, once I get the... As you recruit more and more to our cause, I think we will start doing your ambushes and the hunting of the area. Because while you even venture off to go get more food from the Avosins, we'll still need to eat. So we can we can be strategic in our hunting grounds, though. So
go into more of their territory.
We can attempt to harvest forestry from here and bring that with us for our siege weapons. And I think realistically, we wouldn't want to travel that up the mountain, but what we could do is we could sail that up the river to the Trolls' lands, or to even this riverbed here south of the Trolls' lands. As long as you guys get either the Trolls to be neutral to us, or let us through later on with our weapons, I think we could travel through this sort of valley between the mountains up the river with all of this wood, as well as the siege weapons that are built.
Mm-hmm.
How are we supposed... Are we going to push the siege weapons through the mountains, or do we want to attempt to go tame some beasts of burden?
Taming beasts is probably a good idea.
Should we do that?
Moving siege weapons through snow would be not only extremely hard, but it would be very tiring for the soldiers. And by the time we get there,
wheels will get stuck in the snow, but what we could do is we can attach tracks. But we'll still have to move them.
Yeah.
We would lose the benefit of wheels by using tracks.
What kind of animals do you have around here that would be able to?
There are the Elnuks, which are furry cow-like creature. They're almost like buffaloes. They are decently sized. There are the Druvask, which are the warhogs, like Whistle there. And she sort of points over at hers. Most are smaller than him, but he is there. And there's an adult one.
Tyra gives him a pat on the snoot.
The largest of beasts, though, would be the mammoths.
If we can get a few mammoths on our side, that would be...
We all know how easy it is to get mammoths on your side.
Well, I believe that one's going to have to be a taming rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Sort of like when you break a horse, you'd have to break the mammoth. We usually stick with creatures that are, you know, the Druvask or the Elnuks, because those are creatures of a reasonable stature, right?
Yeah.
But if you could potentially, you know, subdue a mammoth and sort of force it to your will, a mammoth could potentially move each of these siege weapons on its own. Well, why don't we start with the first three?
Yeah.
And then
the first three is our main priority, I think, because if we can't get the trolls on our side, then we're gonna have to fight them.
Yeah, and they're kind of right in the way too, right?
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing that we need to do.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I guess first light, you head out for Orn?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the mountain is Hearthhome. It's in the Boken Mountains? What did I say it was? Boken Hills, Boken Mountains? Boken Mountain. Yeah, Boken Mountain is this one here. Hearthhome is the settlement. It used to be full of smiths and craftsmen, and it is currently a destroyed old fortress deep in the volcanic.
Nice.
Okay.
And we get cool new wolf clothes.
Yeah. I will have the tanners convert those into... Because currently you're wearing cloaks given to you by the spirit walkers, correct?
I'm just wearing my normal clothes.
For those that are functional, but they aren't exactly the most appealing. The spirit walkers don't make a purpose of appearances. So I will have my tanners attempt to make you nicer looking cloaks from these hides. As far as the Spirit Walker cloaks go, you can keep them, you can return them to your ship and bring them back with you. That is up to you. These cloaks will do the job better and look nicer. They'll be ready for you in the morning, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that everything then?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to do? Anything you can think of?
I mean, I wanted to get a drink with her, but I think we don't have time for that.
Kind of a low priority, you're correct.
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm not experienced.
I feed Grizzle a bear. A berry, not a bear.
I'm not experienced in sieging at all. So
Piper?
Yeah.
That book, it has pictures of siege weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Spend time on your travels reading through your book there and see if you can find any strategies that we have not considered.
You got it. And I'll do like a little salute
And
to her.
Piper?
Yeah.
When the war is done, we shall have a massive celebration, and we can have that drink then.
Okay, you've got a deal.
And she winks at you. Okay.
All right.
I will wink back.
Very nice.
With that in mind, you all rest for the night then?
Mm-hmm.
And venture off in the morning. And that is where we'll call it for tonight.